In 2006, we conducted the largest survey of Middletown kids in the city's history. When we got the results back, we learned a number of things. We learned that very few of them felt valued, we learned that very few of them were engaged, and that it wasn't just a school or a parent issue, but a community issue. So we spent the first 5 years of the initiative engaging people in different ways, and we found that through engagement came the best change in our community. So when it was time to resurvey our youth and share the results with the community again, we wanted to focus on a notion of community engagement. So we brought together 100 members of our community, both young and old, to look at the results and have those results prompt conversations about what it's like to grow up in Middletown. Some shared stories of when a developmental asset was present and the successes that followed, and some shared stories of when assets weren't present and the struggle that they had to deal with. Those collective stories helped form a script that led to our play Bigger Than You Think, and we shared that with our community as a way of engaging them in how we support our young people. The play for us was a vehicle to engage the community, and this is what we learned.
To think deeply about asking really good questions, and that's why we get into so much trouble. Because we think we're pursuing the answer to a really important question, and we go down a path that is not bringing us to the place we want to be. So I'd just like to read you a quote from Albert Einstein. If I had an hour to solve a problem and my life depended on the solution, I would spend the first 55 minutes determining the proper question to ask. For once I know the proper question, I could solve the problem in less than 5 minutes. And our purpose here is really about the next question.
Stories always have power to draw us out of ourselves, to help us connect deeply with what's important in our lives and in our communities. But they land there almost beyond the reach of language because they are feelings. And we see that when we put the stories of the community together with developmental assets, and it's amazing.
Before this show and before this experience, I felt like I was part of the 83% of students and of kids who felt like adults in the community didn't care about them. And now I feel like I'm definitely, in that 17, now I guess 0.1% of students who feel like, adults in their community really do appreciate them.
I grew up in a time when children went to school to learn, but they exited to serve. The communities, to a large extent, supported that concept. A community can't grow without service. A community doesn't grow if people aren't prepared to give back. This production today, in my humble opinion, should be framed so a larger group can participate in viewing what occurred and then getting into a rich discussion about what it meant to them.
In order to make the community come together and ensure that we bring together all of the various pieces we have and all of the assets we have actually, that really represent our developmental assets, you have to have all elements of the community coming together. And the cast tonight in this play, you had myself, you had members of the police department, members from community groups, you had the superintendent, you had children who are from the community, you had people who are from businesses, you had attorneys, you had people in the mental health field, you had in the audience tonight members of the Board of Education, teachers, members of the community, members of the City Council. There was a really collaborative environment made up of people who care and people who understand that to make this work and to really ensure that our youth move forward, that we have to bring a lot of people together, and that's what happened here tonight. And that's one of the reasons I'm so excited about this partnership, because it brings together so many people who want to make this work. When I looked at the data and I looked at all of the assets and I took a really close look at what each of them meant, I actually thought about people who had been influential in my life or something positive that had happened in my life, and I actually was able to attribute, in some cases, a few dozen of the assets to one specific role model or one specific situation I had been in. And that's what I think we have to get out there and do on behalf of our youth. People getting out of their comfort zones, talking and connecting with each other on a one-on-one level is the most powerful thing that can happen.
What can we learn from the play, and what possibilities can we now see?
This play, it may be over tomorrow, but after tomorrow, it's a whole new beginning. What are people going to get out of this? What now? Where are we going? How are we going to get there?
What if everyone gave a little time? I mean, like 10, 15 minutes, a half hour, just to help another person.
How can I be part of someone's story?
How do you bring out everyone's individual strengths to help them find their place in the community?
What if instead of focusing most of our time and resources on what is going wrong, that we focused our energies on developing what we're doing right?
How can we figure out if what we're doing is working?
What am I doing to create the better?
What can we learn from each other?
What would it look like if we involve our youth as recognized stakeholders in our community?
What can we change about what we're doing to make more kids feel more valued?
What if we took the numbers out of the equation when we make big decisions about our kids and instead focus on the real values and priorities we have for them?
So coming out of that community conversation after the play, we learned the power of the collective energy of bringing all different types of people together for one common and focused goal. And we're hoping to continue to utilize that energy by taking the conversation to all different parts of Middletown, from church halls to Little League and rec programs, after school activities, and it's going to be amazing.